Hi guys, it's Kara from Goddess to Goodness. I'm here in this beautiful park and I'm going to do a reading for you for the fall equinox, which is today. Okay, and so I hope you guys are all doing really well. I know this is a really weird camera angle, so I do apologize. I hope you guys can see everything, but I just kind of decided to stop and do one here. So I'm going to call in my I am presence, my spirit guides, ascended masters, fairy guides, archangels, Takumisha and Hera, and any other loving supporting energies that would like to bring in messages for the fall equinox. Okay, and so I was called to pull a few decks today, a few different ones. So the first one I'm going to pull from is Nature's Whispers. All right, and so Spirit, what is it what energies will be most prevalent for the fall equinox tonight? And tonight is the night, I believe, when daylight and nighttime is equal. All right, so we're moving from longer daylight hours into longer nighttime hours, but tonight it is equal balance. So, okay. So the weather is beautiful outside tonight. It definitely does not feel like fall, not even a little. Okay, and so I hope you guys are out enjoying yourselves today if you can. And I'll actually show you guys how beautiful it is here. It's like the prettiest little park. I was only here for a wedding once, actually, and I was driving by and I'm like, I guess I'll stop here. So, okay, so Spirit, what energies will be most prevalent with this fall equinox? Beautiful. Oh, I love it. Okay. And so, okay. So the first card we get, guys, is Heighten Your Vitality. And I love that. All right. And so, I don't know, wherever, it depends on where you're watching in the world, but up here in the northeastern United States, we do the daylight savings time. So once we turn the clocks, we turn them forward. I think we turn them forward. So when we do turn them forward, we end up with really, really short days, and the nights are very long here. And so, having said that, heighten your vitality is 100% like very important here, because it when we have more dark hours in the day, it will lead to being like fatigued or tired, or just being like in a lower, more like a hibernation type of state. So I think with this, Spirit is asking us to bring in things that actually bring the light to us. Okay. And so it's just about doing things that raise your vibration, raise your energy, lead you to feel inspired, lead you to feel happy. And when you have a happy heart, that literally is like the juice or the energy of your thoughts, okay? And so now specifically is a time of change, a change in season, a change in weather, but not just that. Its Spirit is also asking us to be vulnerable. And vulnerable doesn't mean like being, it can feel like being exposed, or it can lead to feel like to a feeling of being exposed. But what this is asking is, when you're vulnerable, that's in the positive sense of being vulnerable. It's not weak. It's actually very strong to be vulnerable. And when we're vulnerable and soft with ourselves, gentle with ourselves, we're able to like rest, recuperate, rejuvenate, and we're also able to open ourselves up more to what the universe has to offer. And so what I'm loving with this right here is, you can see here there's like the moon up here with these like candlelight, these candles burning over here, and here she is like napping on this leaf. And the thing is like she's softening, because you can see here that as she lays on this leaf and it's being carried like delicately through the stream, she's not scared. She's not afraid. She's not trying to control anything. She's actually very open and like letting herself trust that everything's going to work out for the best. Like everything is going to like everything's going to work out and she's going to get to where she needs to get. But with all this water here and the moon, that leads me to believe that what that says to me is that there may be emotions like coming up to the surface. So if there are emotions or feelings that are coming up, what Spirit is asking is don't fight it. Allow yourself to like look into it and allow yourself to explore, like, why do I feel like this, or what about this situation or this circumstance is making me feel the way that I feel. Okay, if that makes sense. The next one here, oh my gosh, and I love this, and it goes like right along, which is just beautiful. Intuition. Okay, and you can see how brightly lit her crown is here. All right, and we have like chrysanthemums, which I love because that is a fall flower. But with this intuition card, what this is saying to me is really let like your heart guide you. Like, and so we often think of intuition as being like a logical thing, and intuition is not logical, not at all. Intuition is truly like what your heart says or what your guts say, or that feeling like deep inside you when something just feels right. Okay, and so we're being asked to really go along and like trust that, okay? Because when we open ourselves up to that emotional space, all right, we allow ourselves to connect with the feelings that we do have deep inside and the emotions attached to the thoughts that are crossing our ego mind, okay? And I just have to go back to this first one here because I love it. Heighten your vitality. What I love is like she has the world in her palm, but here we see like all these like beautiful possibilities. Okay, so this is a card of very much like possibility, but it's also, it can be a card of like celebrating, connecting with friends, partnering up. But I love this because this shows everything. It shows like a couple getting married. It shows somebody playing piano. It shows Benjamin Franklin with the lightning and the kite, okay, discovering, electricity or whatever. Down here we have like a bunch of playwrights and, like just a lot of like creative juice flowing here. Okay, and what I love here is in this corner, it's very hard to see, but there's like two faces here that are facing each other. And what I'm getting from this is, again, when we allow ourselves to step into the creation energy and start creating again from our heart space, and it's not just about like creating what we think of as creative, cooking, artwork or music or whatever, but it's just inspiration in all kinds of ways. So this can hit you at work. It can bring out your creative side. It can bring out your creative side in your relationships as to how like you operate within your relationships. It could be just doing things that are like spontaneous and spur of the moment. Okay, especially if you live a very like a very structured life, you know what I mean? Like where it's like a lot of work and maybe not a lot of play. It may be time to go out and play more. And again, yeah, like open yourself up to like the fun and vitality, and that emotional support that like that is out there like waiting for you. But it's about like learning to trust that as well, and learning to trust that your feelings, whatever the feeling is, whether that's love or disconnection or, being scared or, I've had a couple clients like message me lately and they're like, okay, this is changing in my life or such and such, or I have an opportunity for a new job or new this or new that, but I'm scared. And it's okay to like admit these things because that is the healthiest way to process. And my reaction to my clients coming forward with these, questions, or saying, like, it's new and I'm scared and I don't know what to do. What I said to them is, how do you feel about it? Like, what was your initial reaction? Was it like a reaction of feeling like relieved or content, or, and because it's our ego mind that puts like the anxiety and is like, oh, well, maybe you should do this, or maybe you should do that, or maybe you shouldn't, or maybe you shouldn't take that job, or maybe you shouldn't quit that job, whatever that is, because our ego, our brain, our logic tries to keep us safe, okay? And so it'll do that in any way it knows how. And so a lot of the times that'll show up in things like doubt or fear, or being scared, and again, being scared isn't necessarily always a terrible thing. When things change or they're different, it is scary. And like, you wouldn't be a normal, regular human being if these emotions didn't come up sometime. But the question is like, why am I feeling this way? Or what about this situation is making me feel this way? And then what happens is like, your subconscious will automatically begin to process the stuff, and you'll literally be led. And I love this, like, you'll be led to the light, or like to the answer. Once you find that answer, your ego mind will then like cooperate and be like, oh, well, we feel more relaxed about this, so I guess it's okay to go forward. I guess it's okay to make the change. I guess it's okay to accept that position. I guess it's okay to, change up my circumstances, whatever that is for you. All right. And I don't pull these often, but these are messages from heaven. I use these in readings to connect with loved ones who've crossed over. But for some reason, Spirit was asking me to grab these today. So, Spirit, what messages do we have for everybody in regards to the fall equinox here? And there may be not a lot of you, but there may be one or two of you where you may have a loved one sending a message to you in regards. So, take what resonates. All right. And so, Spirit, what do we want to tell everybody here in regards to this equinox tonight? What's coming in for the equinox tonight? Messages in regards to the equinox for the collective. Messages in regards to the equinox. Wow. Okay. Beautiful. Oh, I love that. Okay. Don't look down, look up. That's where you'll find me. I am leaving you pennies from heaven. So I don't know, that might only be one or two of you, but if you're finding pennies, dimes, coins, feathers, something like that, then that is a message for you, that is a loved one trying to send you messages. And I am shining a light on a situation. You are not alone. So if you are feeling confused or anxious lately, or overwhelmed with something, maybe in regards to whatever change this is, just know that you are being led by your guides, by your highest self, by the universe, by your angels, whatever you resonate with. But you are literally being like led to where you need to go. And sometimes it's hard for us to see it from the larger picture, because when we're right down in it, again, it can leave us in that feeling of being vulnerable, or being exposed to like the elements, or being exposed to something that we're not necessarily familiar with. But what Spirit is saying here is that whatever those little signs or synchronicities that you've been getting, trust that, okay? Because they're being sent to you, so you trust your intuition, okay? And it's like, if you just, made a choice or took action, and you were like feeling super, super good about it, and then all of a sudden your ego mind starts kicking in. It's like, oh, what'd you do that for? What'd you say that for? Oh, our ego mind will do a lot of things, because our ego mind is meant to keep us safe. It's not meant to keep us in a bad situation, but our ego mind equates long-term and being like complacent or comfortable with safety. Okay. And that isn't always the case. Like, just because you've been somewhere for a very long time, or been doing something a certain way for a very long time, or, engaged in situation or circumstance for a very long time doesn't necessarily mean that it still works for us. It may have worked for you at a time or for a time, but it doesn't necessarily that it's meant for our highest good right now. Okay? And so you will be getting clarity and you will be getting the answers. And with this card right here where it says don't look up or don't look down, look up, that's where you'll find me. What that is it's about your highest self, okay? And it's really about like look ahead, all right? And it's very easy to look back, and when we make a change in our life, it's extremely easy to be like, ooh, this feels uncomfortable, I feel bad, I feel scared, I feel whatever it is, right? But the point is like that initial feeling, that initial response of wanting to move forward and having had made the change, and say you had a sense of relief like immediately, but then that doubt or that fear or that whatever it is, those little inklings of, the negative, the ego kicking in, all right, that can sometimes make us want to like dim our shine or make us want to dim the inspiration or hold back or not yet. And what Spirit is saying is now is the time to go forward, okay? Now is the time to move forward and go do what your highest self is actually calling for you to do. All right. I have one more oracle deck, and then I'm going to go into some tarot here. So Spirit, so what messages do we have for everybody in regards to our equinox? That's like a million. We'll take that one. They're telling me 2 more. Okay. What other messages do we have for everybody in regards to the equinox? What other messages do we have? Perfect. Okay. Oh my God. I love my guides. They're just fantastic. Master of my life. And it says, I dedicate my strength to the divine within me, the divine within me, aligning myself with the true sovereign in my life, which is you. You are sovereign being. All right? You are your own kingdom, is what that's saying. My ego steps aside as I listen to my inner voice, even though I feel vulnerable, even though I feel scared, even though I'm unsure, even though I'm maybe feeling a sense of fear. My ego steps aside as I listen to my inner voice and act in accordance with the truth that I hear. In this way, I become the master of my life. I live in abiding humility, grace, and love for the glory of God. All right. And so what that says, folks, is exactly it just confirms what I was just saying. And I get excited because it offers a sense of like validity, and like it like raises like the energy of the message when it confirms it over and over like this for you guys. All right. So again, it's that ego mind is just naturally built to keep us in a place of safety. And so that can translate though into like non-action, holding back, dimming our shine, not stepping into our purpose, not moving forward towards our light. And I just saw a hawk fly by like as I'm saying this, so I'm taking that as a sign from Spirit. I love that. But again, it's about mastering that. And how do you feel? Because if your initial response is like, God, thank God I quit that job. And then all of a sudden your brain starts to go, yeah, but what about the money? Or what about this? Or what about that? Or what about that? Understand that is the false, it's not that none of that is relevant, but it's like your brain is going to kick into overdrive like that and create a sense of vulnerability or a sense of overwhelm. But when we follow our heart or follow our intuition or follow our gut and step out of that ego, as long as we logically know that that's what the ego does, okay? It's not that none of that is true. It's just if you stay in that space of all ego, it's going to keep you stuck and it's going to keep you held back. So if you can understand and begin to connect with the space of my initial feeling was a sense of relief or a sense of happiness or a sense of joy or abundance or whatever that is, okay, that is the truth, okay? That is the truth of the situation. That is the truth of what is right for you. That is the truth of the action or path you should follow or take, okay? Okay, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyways, a gift from life. Each day, life offers me abundant proof that the universe loves me. Oh my God. And that's actually what I was starting to say, but like my mind went blank. So when we allow ourselves to follow our gut and trust our intuition, the universe will create other different opportunities for you to address or take care of all of that stuff that your ego mind is saying, oh, well, what about the money? Or what about this? Or what about that? When you follow your heart, the universe will literally mirror back to you the energy that you are afraid that you're losing. Do you know what I mean? Like when you release that old that way, you are actually creating the space to allow the new to flow in. All right. So each day life offers me abundant proof that the universe loves me. Every day God sends angels to help me. Today I will receive an angelic message. It may come from somebody with whom I speak or from words that I read. I will listen closely as this message is a divine gift meant to help me make my way in love and maintain my spiritual strength. This is beautiful because what this is saying is that, like I said in the beginning, there are signs all around. And I love it. It fell right on top of I am leaving you pennies from heaven. So again, if you, excuse me, if you keep getting signs or synchronicities, it might be seeing butterflies. One of my clients said last week that she keeps seeing white butterflies every time she does X, Y, and Z. This is the universe mirroring back to you that you are on the right path. They are trying to like give you little hints and clues that you are going in the right direction. So, and you'll know because you'll notice it. You'll notice that penny. You'll notice that butterfly and be like, oh, that's like the third one I've seen today. That right there is telling you that you are on the right path. Okay? Hope. As I enter the great school of life, I hold tight to my faith in God. God's love guides me and guards me in every situation I encounter. Regardless of what I confront, I trust in my true nature, your intuition. Today, I welcome life. I know the light will always return and there will always be infinite possibilities. And that's funny. I went back to this first card because I said, it just reminds me of infinite possibilities. So again, getting out there to connect, and it could just be like researching something or just finding information about something. Do you know what I mean? That can literally open up a world for you in regards to whatever it is that you are attempting to address. Okay, I am now going to pull, the phone is on the box, but it's the Starman Tarot, my David Bowie deck. So, okay, so Spirit, so what energies will be, what aspects of our lives will these energies be affecting most for the fall equinox? Okay, love it. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. 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 You have two major arcanas here. We have the Hierophant. Okay, so this is about making commitments to yourself, making commitments to your future. Like, this is what I want. I'm going to go for my happiness. I know that this is what is going to like literally light my soul on fire, so I'm going to go for it. This is also about seeing things from a higher perspective. And this is also about releasing things or traditions or belief patterns that no longer serve you. So if there is like, a subconscious thought of like, well, I don't really deserve happiness because that only happens in the movies, that's a subconscious belief pattern that you are now allowing yourself to let go of. Okay? That is something that you are allowing yourself to release right here because you're now being able to see things from the larger picture. Okay? And that could be like however that resonates for you. But again, I love this because here he is like literally in like the center of the universe. Here he has that connection with his higher self, with God, the universe, whatever, however you want to qualify that. But look at, out of this hand, he creates, and he creates like new energy. And I don't know if you can see it here, but he creates that new energy of like a new life. Okay. Like these are like our light bodies. And like, this is like what our soul like truly is without the human form. Okay. We are energetic beings of light. All right. And then I love it over here because here he is sheltering this, like this purity, this innocence, this softness. Okay. Like, and this is like really like literally like our pure essence. Okay. The purity in all of us. And we all have that. And that's the thing, is like our pure natures are still within us, but we often get sidetracked, or we are our nature gets colored or tinted in certain ways with certain filters in regards to certain experiences we have, or this and that. Okay, so again, when these feelings of whatever that is for you, it may be mistrust, like, oh well, nothing, things don't ever work out that way, or oh well, it's a big change and I'm scared and I don't know if I could do it, or whatever that is for you, or I'm sad to leave that behind. You know what? Honor those feelings, because they're legitimate. But you honor them, and then you process them, and then you're able to release them, and that's what's so beautiful. The next energy here about aspects of our lives, and guys, these are like really big energies, like really big universal energies. These are things that will, like, energies that'll be sticking around for a while. So again, where I am shining a light on a situation, you are not alone, right? Because, and it may be that your intuition may have been telling you something for a very long time, all right? But again, one of the programs that we are conditioned to believe is like, oh, you're crazy, that's your imagination, however that resonates for you, you know what I mean? But we are told certain things and we grow up believing them, and we begin to like live our lives in accordance with whatever that rule or whatever that story or whatever that belief or tradition is, right? Okay, and so I love this because it says, I'm shining a light, you are not alone. So meaning, whatever you've had that intuition in regards to, you will be getting clarity, and stay in a vibration of hope, okay, and trust, because it is coming. And what I love is that is the higher perspective. And not only that, the wheel is here, the wheel of fortune. So the wheel of fortune actually represents like sudden abrupt changes that are like fortunate. So it could be like a new job offer, a new love offer. Maybe you're moving into like a new home that's like everything you always wanted. Maybe it's like you're getting a new car. Maybe you're, getting into a class that you've been wanting to take for a very long time. Maybe you're starting an online business. But whatever that is, this is bringing great change and like fortunate change, okay? And it's like, again, the end of a cycle, because, oh wow, I love this here. And it's the first time ever that I've ever noticed this. But it's like when you see all like, I don't know, like this galactic energy, right? And like I noticed down here, there's this noose, but it's empty. And that to me is beautiful, because this is an energy of this beautiful change in the fall equinox is part of the grand cycle, okay? But what I love about the noose down here and being empty is that we are no longer like hanging in the balance or waiting around, or it's like no longer feeling like tied down to things that, again, maybe once served us or maybe we once resonated with, but it's like that's no longer meant for us, because we have grown, we have evolved, we have changed, and we have to, in order to allow the new in, you have to allow the old to flow out, okay? And the old, again, can be feelings, beliefs, thought patterns, people, jobs, whatever that is, habits, whatever that is for you. The next card here, again, what aspects of life will this be changing for us? We have the Prince of Swords. And the Prince of Swords here is like, in this card especially, I love it because this guy is like a wounded warrior. He's literally like been through the ringer. Okay. He has the battle scars, the battle wounds. He has stigmata here. And what I love about this is like, here is this wall blasted like right open, and behind this wall that normally, like, you know, there's like a thing of dynamite here, you know what I mean, like broken bottles, whatever. Even on his body, it just like he has all this like writing scribbled, you know, like no rules, you know, like real anarchy, like whatever. But behind this graffitied wall that was literally like taken over and not cared for, or whatever it was, and like really like looking like, you know, just a mess of vandalism. Okay. Behind this wall is like the purity of the divine, the purity of the divinity within you. All right. And so with this crow here, what this says to me is like, this is like bringing in the truth. So birds for me represent like messages or communication. So you, and the Knight of Swords, the Prince of Swords, is actually a card of very abrupt or fast action and communication. And again, what I love is that it comes over this whole stack. All right. I am shining light on a situation. You are not alone. Hope. We have intuition. And again, we have another card of like information being brought forward. All right. So this could be like, again, just something literally brought to light, because had this wall still been standing, you would never imagine that in a million years that something divine resides behind it, right? Like you would take one look at this guy and be like, oh my God, no, you know, like that's scary. It's whatever. It's this, and that. It's because what this is like, even though you've been through the hurt, you've been through the sorrow, the pain, the troubles, the tribulations, the scarcity, whatever that is, you have abundance literally coming. But look at, he's facing this way, and he's not even aware that this is even there. All right. And again, this could be like leaving like old, like blasting out old habits, old behaviors, old thought processes. It could be having conversations that literally just light up your world into something that you never would have even dreamed was possible. I love that. All right. So Spirit, what else do we have here for everybody? Okay, Spirit, what challenges might these energies bring in for everybody? What challenges or in what ways will we be challenged in regards to these energies? Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, wow, these two cards are literally kind of almost the same energy. Not really, but letting go. The Four of Swords is about resting, rejuvenating.